What's good? This is Trey. Welcome to this presentation. The topic for today is approach anxiety. Are you dealing with approach anxiety? Okay, approach anxiety is this feeling of nervousness and tension that you experience when you either think about approaching a woman or you're about to approach her, right? You start to get nervous and you just feel weak and you know what I mean? You just don't feel confident. You don't feel grounded, okay? So approach anxiety. So basically, approach anxiety holds men back from approaching women they find attractive, okay? And it's annoying, it's frustrating, okay? So I want to look at this topic and give you some tips that you can apply to overcome approach anxiety so you can approach women you find attractive and actually be proactive in your dating life. You know what I mean? Instead of sitting around hoping something happens, you can take more initiative. So approach anxiety. Approach anxiety is essentially it's fear, it's nervousness, okay? And what does that presuppose? It presupposes that you have a serious attitude, right? You only get fearful and nervous and anxious when you're taking something seriously. Like you feel like you can't handle it, or it's a threat, or you could possibly get hurt, or something bad's gonna happen, right? So it's usually a serious situation. Now, what I'm gonna tell you is you need to reframe this idea of approaching a woman. It's not serious. It should not be a serious thing. Because first of all, it's a stranger. You shouldn't be taking a stranger all that seriously. You don't know who this person is. Their validation, their judgment, what they think of you, all that stuff, you shouldn't value that until you have a conversation with them and you see, okay, is this a cool person, or is this a person of value? Then you can start, taking them a little seriously. But in the beginning, you should not be taking them seriously at all. Okay? So when it comes to this approach anxiety and this fear, you want to make a shift and somehow look at the situation in a more playful, humorous state of mind or attitude, right? So, for example, like if I see a woman that I find attractive and I feel myself starting to get nervous, the first thing I do is I'll start to like smile and realize like, yo, hold on, chill out. I'm taking this shit too seriously. Like I'm already, because the reason you get serious is because you're starting to think, okay, she's beautiful. I gotta get her number, or I gotta make sure that I say something cool, or I gotta be perfect. You start getting in your head. And what you need to do is you need to relax. You need to become aware, right? That okay, your body is responding to her, right? Your body's responding to her because it's basically looking at this woman and she's an attractive woman. And at a DNA level, it's like, okay, this is a woman that could help extend your genetic lineage, right? Because when a woman's beautiful, essentially what that means is she's displaying replication value, right? So the more beautiful and symmetrical she is, it basically would tell you or notify your body that this woman would be able to give birth to a child that would be healthy and that kind of thing. So that's why your body reacts to her, and you can't really control that. I mean, you can get it to a certain level where it's more controllable, but it doesn't go away completely, okay? What I do though is I shift it. I look at it differently. I don't look at that anxiety as fear. I look at it as excitement. And I look at the situation in a more playful way. When I see a woman I find attractive, if I see myself getting too seriously, I start thinking to myself, okay, what is something I can say to her that I think is funny or that I think is amusing? That's the question I ask myself. Or sometimes I'll just remind myself, yo, remember, Trey, this same woman that you're seeing that looks so beautiful, when she takes off her makeup and she looks regular, she's not going to look that good. Okay, I remind myself, like I get conscious and aware because obviously my body's responding to this woman. But me, the spiritual being who's within the body, I know the reality of the situation. Yes, this woman looks attractive, but it's a presentation, right? Like she did herself up. She put on her makeup, put on a nice outfit, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? So I understand that, and so it helps me to not take the situation so seriously and kind of bring her back down, because it's like, you know, this energy, this nervousness, it's like it's putting her on a pedestal, like, oh, she's so great, I need to be perfect, and it's like I need to bring it back down. So I remind myself, like, yo, chill out, Trey, it's not that serious, right? This is a regular human being like everyone else. He just happens to be physically attractive, right? But I don't need to be taking this shit so seriously, okay? Now, another thing you can do, because those advice that I just gave you, it's gonna take practice to really get good at that. Another thing you can do is just practice courage, right? Practice courage, practice being a man. And essentially what that means is, even though you're experiencing this fear, this approach anxiety, this nervousness, accept the feeling, don't resist it, accept the nervousness, accept the anxiety, and tell yourself, yo, I'm a man, okay? I feel nervous, yeah, whatever, but I'm gonna approach this woman. Because to me, that's what a man is. That's what confidence is. That's what courage is when you experience fear, you experience anxiety, you experience nervousness, but you still take the action that you want to take regardless, okay? So you're demonstrating power. You're demonstrating willpower, right? And this will actually build your character the more you can do this, right? Now, you don't want to overwhelm yourself, like, you know, constantly put yourself in a ton of tension, because it's gonna, you know, you're gonna overwhelm yourself and you're gonna basically want to avoid it, right? So you want to do it, you know, here and there, you know what I mean? Like, if you see a beautiful woman, like, practice, you know, let me see if I can approach one beautiful woman today. You know, it doesn't have to be like 10, 15, 20, you know what I mean? Just let me see if I can talk to one beautiful woman a day. Because what you're practicing experiencing that tension, that anxiety, that nervousness, but still taking action regardless. And what's going to happen is you're going to start desensitizing yourself to that anxiety, to that nervousness, and it's going to be reduced over time, right? So the level of approach anxiety that I experience versus someone, you know, because I've been approaching women for, you know, a long period of time, versus someone who just started, maybe he's just hearing about this idea of approaching women, he wants to start. That guy's probably going to experience a lot more approach anxiety than I will, because I've already, I have a lot of references and experiences dealing with that form of tension, that form of anxiety and nervousness, whereas he doesn't. So to him, it's more dramatic, it's more serious, it's a lot more difficult to deal with. But if he applies himself on a consistent basis, he puts himself in that tension, puts himself in that situation, over time, the anxiety is going to be reduced, the tension is going to be reduced, and he's going to be a lot more comfortable, a lot more confident, a lot more grounded, and he's going to be able to approach women he finds attractive. And that's like the main thing we need to cover before we can really be so fancy and smooth and seductive and all that stuff. First, we need to be able to handle this approach anxiety and approach women. Okay, we need to be able to handle this tension. We need to be able to handle the nervousness so we can have a decent conversation with this woman. Because if you are feeling nervous and you're resisting it, and you're gonna walk up and you're gonna be like, excuse me, it's gonna be nervous and awkward, and it's not a good presentation. Like, especially if it's an attractive woman, like, you don't want to walk up and look nervous and look timid and look like prey. You know what I mean? Because she's not going to get turned on by that, right? If anything, she might feel pity for you or feel bad for you. And you don't want that, right? Because that's going to either get you shot into the friend zone, or she's just going to reject you, right? And so you need to learn how to deal with this approach anxiety. So as I said, I gave you some advice, these are literally the things that I do. So if I feel myself getting all serious and stuff like that, the first thing I do is I smile. I take a deep breath. That's one of the things I do. Another thing I do is I remind myself, look, yes, she's physically attractive. Yes, she looks good. But this is a regular human being. When she takes off the makeup and she looks, when she wakes up in the morning, her hair is crazy and all that stuff, she doesn't look that amazing, okay? I need to just see the truth of the situation. I'm getting nervous and anxious, based on an illusion that she's created with her makeup and the way she looks and all that. So I just get more in touch with reality. That helps me reduce some of the anxiety. The next thing I do is I I also look at, okay, I want to be a man, right? I want to demonstrate courage. I want to demonstrate confidence. I want to demonstrate my ability to enforce my will despite how I feel, right? And so what I'm saying here is, even though sometimes I may feel anxiety or feel nervous or feel whatever, I will still approach the woman, because to me, that's what being a man is. A man should be able to handle his emotions and still be proactive, still be able to get the job done, right? Like you can't you know what I mean? Like the way I see it is, there's nothing respectable about you as a man knowing what you want to do, knowing you want to approach this woman, and then you not doing it, right? You tuck your tail in between your legs and you walk away. Like to me, that is not a respectable action that I want on my character, right? I want my character, I want my beingness to be the kind of guy that can experience approach anxiety and still talk to the woman, okay? Now, it's not like you have to go and talk to 10 and 15, 20 women, just one woman. Just work on getting comfortable with approaching beautiful women, right? And over time, you will get more comfortable. You become more grounded in your masculinity. You become more confident. You become more desensitized to beauty. And your interactions will go a lot better, and you'll be more effective in approaching women and attracting them and seducing them, and the whole system, or the whole formula, whatever you want to call it. All right, so that's my tips and advice on approach anxiety. If you're a man and you would like to work on overcoming this fear of approaching women, get rid of your approach anxiety and get to this place where you feel unbreakable in your confidence, where you feel just super grounded in your masculinity, where you feel like you can approach any woman and have a great conversation, where you feel like you can deal with your emotions, you can deal with how you feel and still be able to take action. Join the Unbreakable Beast Tribe. All right, in that group, that's where you'll get a ton of videos, content, things that are going to help you evolve as a man, help you become more grounded, more confident, and more able to take control of your dating life and become the best version of yourself. All right, I'll drop a link to the group in the comment section. I'll see you inside. Peace.